Welcome back, folks. This is Anthony, Honda Snowblower enthusiast. Today's patient is a Honda HS724 that hasn't run in about 4 or 5 years. If you guys pick up a used Honda on Craigslist or wherever, and the owner tells you, yeah, it was running when it was parked. When did you park it? I don't know, a couple years ago, 4 years or 5 years ago, or whatever. And these are the steps you're going to have to take, or you should take, if you have a machine like this, where it hasn't been started in several years. It won't start for you, even if you put new gas in the tank. So let's go through this step by step, and I'm going to show you what I use. Let me see what the tools I use. I'll use a screwdriver, some needle nose pliers, a magnetic tray for hardware. I'm going to use a spark tester and a 10 millimeter wrench, a 10 millimeter socket with an extension. I'm going to use gum out carb and choke spray. And I recently started using this. It's called Ethanol Shield. It gets very, very good reviews on YouTube and online. It's a fuel stabilizer, and I'll be showing you this too. So let's get started with this. I'm going to go pretty much step by step. We take the air cleaner, the air cover off first. Set it aside. The top cover has to come off. On the 724, it's attached to the bottom bolt on your valve cover. So you got to take that off. And after you've taken it off, you put the screw back in tight, the bolt, so that you don't leak oil, okay? You got a little screw over here that I already took out, and then you can pull it off. Okay? Now I'm suspecting a couple things here. I've already drained the gas. There wasn't much gas in it. And I drained the gas out of the carburetor. Actually, the carburetor was fairly clean. So I'm wondering what's going on here. The first thing I'm going to do before I start messing with the carb, I'm going to check the spark. Now I use this spark tester. If you don't have one, no worries. You can pull the plug out. Let's pull this cap off. Pull the cap off. You can pull the plug out, insert it back into the boot here. Pull the engine over with the key on. Lay the plug against the metal here and see if it will spark. So for me to save time, I use these spark testers. You can get these on Amazon for, I don't know what they are now, $8 or $9. Attach it to the end to the spark plug. Okay. And then you put the other end inside here. It clicks in. Well, let me put the key on. All right, the gas is off. I'm hoping it won't start. It shouldn't start because it wouldn't start for me earlier. Did you see the spark? Okay, it's got a spark. Good news there. Now I'm just showing you what's going on with this machine. It could be several reasons why it won't start. But this is the step-by-step that I use. And usually, 9 times out of 10, these small steps will work and get your machine running. Okay, next on a 724 or 624, you got to take this bolt out. On other machines, the bolt might be on top. And let's see. Now you got to take these 2 nuts off. I put the gas valve in the closed position, okay? So I pull this off. I want to check the choke adjustment, okay? A lot of times it could be a choke adjustment. I'll get this off here. Put the hardware, my metal tray, so I don't lose it. This is called the elbow. Pull the elbow off, set it aside. Okay, right now, if you can see, the choke is in the open position. The throttle is in slow to fast position. And when I put it in choke, let's see what happens here. Now, it's not closing all the way. See, it should be closed. Let me get a screwdriver. Oh, wait a minute, I got one right here. Okay. So I want to reset this choke. I see this a lot where the choke plate's not closing. And sometimes this is all the machine needs. It needs a closed choke when the engine's cold so you can start it. Creates the vacuum. So what you want to do is to close this. It's already in the choke position. And what you want to do is you get a screwdriver, you put it in this slot right here, and you pry it open a little bit. You pry it open enough so that the choke plate closes. Okay? So now it's adjusted correctly. Now the choke plate's closed when it's in the choked position. Let me open it back up for now. Alright, now since this is a demonstration on how to get this started after 4 or 5 years, I'm not going to assume that this is what it needs. I'm going to assume that the carburetor may be partially clogged. Now I already checked the gas. The tank was empty actually, and well, almost empty, and I pulled the bowl off and the bowl was clean. I pulled the sediment cup out and the sediment cup was clean, but you can clean it up if there's dirt in there, and you can do an in-frame carb cleaning taking the bowl off, which I've showed before. We got the garbage men here making all this noise. So anyways, I'll show that in a second. Now what I want to do next is remove this idle jet right here. There's an idle set screw, one of the set screws for the idles right here. I'm going to remove this with my screwdriver. Let me get back in position. It figures that the garbage man's coming around making all this noise. Okay, I'm removing, can you see that? I'm removing this screw here. You don't want to lose this, so it's going to go over here. Now here's your idle jet. Some people call it something else, you know, but if this jet is clogged, that's going to cause a no start issue. A rough idle issue. Okay, I forgot to get my my needles, my carb cleaning tool here. You can use a small wire, compressed air. Let me show you. Let me see if I can get this out. You can pry it out. Okay, I'm going to pry it out. You can use a screwdriver, or you can use a needle nose pliers. Most people have screwdrivers at their home, needle nose pliers. You can use the needle nose pliers to pull it out. All right, let's pull this out. Okay, let's look at this little baby. The O-ring, there's an O-ring here. You have to replace it if it's flat or broken or non-existent. It's a 1 millimeter by 4 millimeter O-ring. It comes with a carburetor gasket set. I don't think you can buy these. You can ask the dealer if he'll just give you one. I usually buy 10 at a time at eBay. But anyways, you want to inspect that. Now here's the hole that may be clogged. And to figure that out, what you want to do, you get your carb spray and you put it in the end here and you give it a good spray. Now if the hole's open, the carb spray will come out of these holes on the sides. When I did this earlier, it wasn't working. So what I did is I got my torch. Let me see. I got to get the smallest one. Here's the smallest one right here. You can use compressed air. You can use carb cleaner. You can use a. Some people use a wire from a bread tie for your loaf of bread. You take the cover off and you can use it and you push it in here and see if it goes through. Try to get it through, and if it doesn't go through, then you can turn the jet around and around, kind of drill this piece in. Now in this case, this wouldn't go through, so I had to use a mini drill, a hand drill, with the smallest bit, and practically drill the hole out. It was clogged up. There was something in there, and it was stuck solid. I very rarely see that. And if you can't get this cleaned out, I don't suggest you drill out a bigger hole. But you're going to have to replace this jet. So I got the machine. I got this out now. Now what I can do now is I can do a in-frame. It only takes a few minutes. In-frame cleaning of the carburetor to clean out all the holes. Let me put it in the service position. I already drained the gas in the carburetor. Here's your drain. Sometimes it's the drain bolt, and the gas is not full in here, so it won't leak out of the gas cap. And what I do, Honda recommends you remove the oil from the engine so you don't hydrolock it. You can do that, especially if you're doing a whole service on a machine. Let me move this stuff out of the way. And or you can pull the cord until you feel resistance, and then right there I feel a little bit of resistance. It will close the valves and prevent, hopefully it will prevent hydrolock. Now hydrolock is when you can't pull the cord at all. Some gas or oil has gotten into the cylinder, and the piston can't move up and down, and there's a way to get rid of that. You pull the plug out, and then you'll be able to pull the cord over and over and get all the oil or gas out of the cylinder, or it could be water too in some cases. Let's put this on the service position so it's easier to work on. I use this 6x4. Alright, so now it's nice and sturdy. It's not going to fall over or anything. Okay, let me get my 10mm wrench. Okay, the first thing I do, I'll remove the sediment cup. Whoops, there's gas in there. Okay, maybe I didn't get all the gas out. Now I'm going to pull the bowl. There might be a little bit of gas in here. Yeah. See how clean the bowl is? It's not that bad. Set this aside. Let me spray the bowl out a little bit with carburetor spray. Use eye protection, folks. This stuff will burn your eyes. Could blind you, I guess. Alright, so I got the bowl out. I put this up on the track here. Now I can take this is the float. This is what stops your gas. When the gas level gets up here, it raises the float and shuts off the gas. We're going to take that out. I'm going to set this aside. I want to inspect this little needle. Can you see that, folks? Nice and pointy. It's not damaged. Doesn't have pits in it or anything. The float looks really good. There's no gas in the float, which would mean you would have to replace it. Okay, so now I can do a quick in frame. Here's your pickup tube. There's a little hole on the side. You got these holes in here, and then you've got the hole in where your idle jet goes. So let's, I put the gas back on. Gas is not going to come out because of the position of the machine. All right, let's put some carb spray in this hole. There's a hole in here. Line up your straw. Spray some in here. Spray some in here, this hole. Oops, almost got my eyes. Okay, here's another hole right here. You see how it's coming out? It's coming out of your pilot jet hole, and it's coming out of your pickup tube. Can you see that? And when you spray in this hole correctly, it'll come out of here, I believe. Now, there's your pickup tool. Your main jet's in here, so you wanna spray in there too. Let's see. You got to line up the hole with the main jet. I spray in here where I want to spray in here where the needle goes. Clean that out. See if there's any debris. If there's any debris in there, it could cause your bowl to overfill with gas. So you spray in there too. Oh, I can't forget the idle jet. Let's see. Put this back on. All right, where's the idle jet? It's over here. All right, let me spray in here. You see the gas coming out of, I mean not the gas, the carb spray coming out of this hole and this hole. Watch your eyes. Okay, so now it's cleaned out. We'll put that back in a second. Let's button up the carburetor first. See, it's fairly easy. You know, I don't know how long it takes. 10 or 15 minutes, maybe, you know. If you're doing a service, you can... We're trying to get this baby started as it hasn't been started in 4 or 5 years. And I think what the problem was, it was a dual problem with this machine. You know, line up this hole. There you go. All right, and then you make sure that the spring's working and everything. Now, in this case, I believe the two problems was the choke adjustment. The choke wasn't closing all the way, and the idle jet was clogged. All right, let's put the bowl back on. You see how this bowl has an indent for the float. So you want to line that up. Line it up with the float. Make sure it's on there right. If it's, you know, if you put it on cockeyed or whatever, you're going to have leaks. All right, I'm holding it. And I can put this bolt back in. Tighten it up, snug it up pretty good, folks. You got a fiber washer here. You want to snug it up so pretty good so it doesn't leak on you. Okay. Now put the sediment cup back on. Make sure, I don't know if you can see it, there's a washer, not a washer, it's like an O-ring washer that's on the inside. You want to make sure you didn't lose that. If you buy the carburetor gasket kit, you'll get one of those too if you need to change it. So screw it on and then tighten it up. Nice and snug. Not too tight. You don't want to damage the O-ring. All right, let me see what's next. You want to put the jet back in. I usually put a little bit of lubricating oil on this so that this O-ring will go in there. Let's see if it'll go in. I'm going to have to push it in a little bit. Let's get it back on the floor. All right, let's line this up. It has to get lined it up with the, and let's push it in a little bit. Okay. See, I felt it. You didn't hear it, but I felt it click in. So now it's flush with the carburetor body. All right. Let me put this back in. Sometimes this little sucker can be a pain in the ass. Pain in the butt, I mean. Okay. Screw this back in. Okay, let's see, what else do we have to do? We got the plug sparking everything. I got to shut the gas off. I got to put the elbow back on. Where's the elbow? Right here. You can't put the elbow back on with the gas on, see? So you have to line it up. Okay. Find my two nuts. Now I'm not going to button this up all the way because we don't know if this is going to work. So why button everything up? Put the top plate on, put the air cover on, put this bolt in. Why do all that if what do you call it? If it doesn't work, let me see something else here. I want to make sure gas is flowing. Let me put the gas on. I can use some needle nose pliers and open up my drain and see if the gas is going into the carb. Oh, come on, baby. It's also a slot for a large screwdriver. I can't get it open. Well, anyways, I could have done that. I could have made sure the gas was flowing with the bowl off. Turn the gas on, and then the gas will come out. This is stuck. There you go. I used the inside jaws. There you go. So you got gas. Got gas going to carb. See, without gas going to carb, you're not going to get it started, right? Okay, so we tighten that back up. And let's tighten up your elbow nuts. Snug. Snug, a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter. Okay. Now you got your elbow back on. We can start it up now. I don't have to put I don't have to put the cover back on yet. I want to make sure this works before I have to do all the other work. Do some more work to it. So I got the gas on, and a thing that usually happens when you've got the machine up on its nose, a lot of times you might you might flood out the engine, or it won't start right away. So let's assume that this is flooded. I don't want to get embarrassed here if it doesn't start on me. All right, I got the gas on. I turned the key off. To start a flooded engine, you want to pull this about 8 to 10 times. Okay, what this does is that it cleans out the cylinder of any excess gas. It will dry off your spark plug if your spark plug got wet. So that's the easiest way to start a flooded engine. I'll turn the key back on. Let's see. It's kind of warm today, but I'm still going to put it in the. It's pretty warm, but I'm still going to put it in the choke position with my throttle right here. All right, let's see if it will start. Well, thanks to the small engine gods there. In this particular case, on this 724, I believe the two culprits was a choke plate that wasn't closing all the way, so we adjusted that. We did an in-frame cleaning, a quick in-frame cleaning with the carburetor, so you don't have to remove the carburetor. And I believe the other problem was the idle jet. Here's another idle jet. It was all clogged up. You can see, there was corrosion in the different carburetor. All this white stuff is in there. It's all clogged up, and the carburetor was terrible. Well, I had to take it off, dismantle it, and put it in an ultrasonic cleaner to clean it. That would be the next step if I still couldn't get it started. What I would do to ascertain that the engine will start is I would spray some carburetor spray in the intake and try to start it that way. If the engine would turn over and run for like a second or so, then I'd know that it was a fuel delivery problem, a problem in the carburetor. The carburetor wasn't getting gas, or the gas wasn't getting into the cylinder for ignition. But this is a good test too, is to, spray a little, just a tiny bit, and then see if it will turn over. Run for a second or so, and then stall out. Then the problem is in the carburetor. You already found out that you have spark. So the next step would be to take the carburetor off. And since the in-frame cleaning didn't work, and you'd have to take the carburetor apart and put it in and clean it either manually, more thoroughly. You might have to take out the main jet. You might have to take out the emulsion tube and clean all the holes in it. The main jet could be clogged. And sorry I didn't show you this, but when you're spraying up the pickup tube, you should see carburetor spray coming into the throat of the carburetor. And if you do, then your main jet's clean. If you don't, then your main jet's clogged. I'm sorry I didn't show that, but I was just going step by step on this particular case. A lot of times, this is all you have to do, especially with the machine that hasn't been run for quite a while. And most of the time, this will work. So thanks for watching, folks. I really appreciate your comments, subscribing to the channel, and liking the video. And if you have any questions, put it in the comments. I'll put a link to in the comments, in the description of the video of the spark tester you can get on Amazon. You can get this carburetor, this torch cleaners on Amazon or eBay. Ethanol shield for your gas. This will treat 240 gallons. It will keep your gas fresh. Carburetor spray. I like gum out. Most carburetor sprays are pretty good. Okay, so thanks for watching, folks, and we'll see you next time.